Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. I ain't even checking if my mic's working. Let me go look. Okay, it is working. I was not looking at Streamlabs there. Let's see what we have in here today. We have Season, Caleb, Misty, Pete, Caden, Noah, Jax, Ben, Haley, Indiana, Legacy. Let's see, Caleb. I don't know if I said him. He really shouldn't get any welcome. Braxton, Sydney, Ponderosa, Leon. Glad to see you guys all in here. Let's go ahead and switch our scene on over to the main one here. Hopefully everything is good to go. Date's correct. Yeah, I think we're good. 28th. Okay, yes it is. No, you shouldn't, Caleb. No, you shouldn't. Get those grades up. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our SBC outlooks. I was looking at that earlier. Misty on white went all the way up to Missouri. I originally had one of my thumbnail colors go all the way up there, but then I thought it was, it wasn't really too well to put it all the way up that far north, because then people would be thinking tornadoes would be possible all the way up into like Nebraska or Iowa, and that's just not true. That's the general thunderstorm risk. So I didn't do that. I fixed my thumbnail. But yeah, let's go and look at our outlooks here from the Storm Prediction Center, and I'm actually going to... you guys saw me do that at the intro like 20 times right there. I keep pulling up the wrong thing. What I'm actually going to try to do here, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull up this. This should work. I'm going to try to get used to pulling up this radar site instead of Radar Omega. It's going to be a little difficult to break a habit I've had for 2 years straight, but we're going to start trying to use WeatherWise more because it is better than Radar Omega now. It's getting like right up there with Radar Omega. So let's go over to our outlooks here. We're going to go to our day 2 categorical risk. And you can see we do have a marginal risk in effect for tomorrow. This includes Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton, Wichita Falls, Ardmore, Oklahoma, into Abilene, Texas, San Angelo, Junction, all the way down to almost Austin, Texas for tomorrow. This includes the potential for a tornado or two in and northwest of Austin through Junction, Curryville, Texas, just to the northwest of San Antonio. And we also have a wind threat out there, a very large 5% chance for damaging winds, at least very large considered to what we've been seeing over the last month, which is near nothing. Our last main severe weather event was actually a month ago from today, December 28th, 2024. So yeah, we do have a pretty large 5% chance for damaging winds there. The largest risk is going to be for hail. We've got quite the large area under a 5% chance for small to isolated large hail, all the way down from near San Antonio all the way back up towards Ardmore, Oklahoma. Then as we go into the day 3 outlook, we do have a slight risk for severe weather over portions of Louisiana, Texas, up into Mississippi. That's that large yellow you see right in here. That is a level 2 threat. Level 2 out of 5 there. And then you also have a very large level 1 threat. Now that is a really large level 1 threat right there. Very, very large marginal risk all the way from almost central Mississippi through central Arkansas into south central Texas into almost all of Louisiana under that level 1 out of 5 threat for severe weather there. Like Misty was saying, for Thursday, our general thunderstorm risk actually goes all the way up here into portions of Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, and covers the entire state of Missouri. That is a very large level 0.5 out of 5 there. So basically, if you're in that area, we're looking at very heavy rain with the potential of some lightning strikes. That's what we call a general thunderstorm risk in that area. So we will keep an eye on that. I don't think we will see much of an expansion northward of that level 1 risk. I could see it being expanded into Tennessee a little bit more, kind of like this. I could see it being pushed a little bit more to the northeast for damaging winds, but probably not going to have as big of a major change as that. We'll see what our HRRR shows tonight as it renders in towards like 9 o'clock is when it will finish. But the primary threat will definitely be sticking towards the north-northwestern side of this slight risk for severe weather. Wherever we get the most amount of instability, overlapping with the most amount of lower-level jet stream, overlapping with the best time of day, and potentially could see a increase in tornadoes between about 7 towards 9 p.m. Eastern as that lower-level jet ramps up. We've seen that a lot with our second season severe weather events. And then any day after that, day 4 through 8, they are all, I think they're all predictability too low, if I'm not mistaken. They're all predictability too low, which that's actually very important to note because that means that there is some severe weather potential. It's just they're not outlining it yet. Okay, it's all potential too low. That's good. So it is all potential too low. What that means is the severe weather threat is too limited to outline any severe weather outlooks. So normally on the day 4 through 8 outlook, the point where I start paying attention is if it says potential, or rather predictability is too low. The difference is predictability means that there is a risk for severe weather. However, there's not enough agreement on exact placement of that severe risk to outline a hazard. Potential too low means that the severe weather threat is too low to highlight any risk of severe weather. So basically, potential too low means minimal severe weather. Predictability too low means severe weather is possible, just a little uncertain on exactly where. But yeah, that is going to be it for our SBC outlooks there. That's your day 2 and day 3. Day 3 Thursday is going to be our primary day as we originally expected. Not really going to see much on day 2. Most of our activity for tomorrow is going to be focused into the overnight hours and the very, very early morning hours of Thursday. Shouldn't see much activity in that marginal risk until probably after the 2 a.m. Eastern time frame. Let me go over to... we're going to switch over to Radar Omega here. Radar Omega does have model runs, so that's what we're going to use Radar Omega for here with our 18Z HRRR. So let's go ahead and pull this all the way out to when these storms start firing. So the HRRR has a bit of early initiation here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That is early initiation for this upcoming weather event for tomorrow. And you can see most of these look like just little tiny thunderstorms with mainly a hail threat. They could potentially become tornadic as early as about 10 p.m. But notice the clustery overconvection mess that we see all inside of our risk area. That is due to what we talked about day before yesterday with a lot of defluence aloft and a lot of air rushing in to fill in that void that the atmosphere leaves, which your jet stream splits apart. And so that allows for a lot more convection to occur over your risk region. And so that's why we see this very, very messy mode continue throughout the remainder of tomorrow night. Going into 5 a.m., we finally see all that convection congeal up into a line as the cold front passes in behind it. And that does allow for a heightened damaging wind risk over specifically the Dallas area down towards the Clean Texas area around the 6 to 8 a.m. time frame. This will most likely be where our severe weather event peaks, potentially the greatest severe weather event over the next 2 days here. The time frame for that will be from about, like I said, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That might actually be our prime severe weather event for the next 48 hours, because I really can't tell you how much Thursday is going to do here. The HRRR does have a considerably better setup than most of our model runs. It does allow for a very large warm sector, at least in my opinion, very large for second season here, across most of Louisiana into Mississippi, Arkansas, eastern and southeastern Texas as well. That is a large warm sector compared to if we look at, like, for instance, maybe the GFS. Yeah. The GFS is going to show you how low this warm sector is going to be. Let me load it out. And there you go. You can see this isn't terrible, actually, but your primary warm sector is really focused in this area here on your GFS model. And now I want to show you the NAM model. We're going to just go through all of our model runs right now for instability. This is probably the worst one. Either the NAM 12K or 3K. I actually forgot which one is worse. I looked at it about an hour and a half ago. Yeah, they're just not that good. I think green is okay, green ain't even 500. I thought green was 500 instability. So this still isn't even really that good of a warm sector in terms of higher end instability. I mean, you just really have a large area of like 100 instability here. It's just a really large area of 100 instability, and there's really not any focused area of instability until about 1 a.m. Friday morning, where you can see that become a little bit more confined towards in front of your cold front out there in Mississippi and Louisiana. But by then you're into the nocturnal hours, which is when your storms will probably be dying out thanks to that capping and just overall lack of ingredients. But we could see that threat persist into the overnight hours, and potentially even into the morning of Friday towards 7 to 10 a.m. in portions of Alabama into Georgia. Let's see. Cape is 500 to 800. I mean, that's why the HRRR is better. The HRRR is better in terms of your environment, just simply because your instability is higher. Oh, that's surface-based sin. My bad. Hold on. There you go. Surface-based instability. Oh, wow. Never mind. We are going to have a major outbreak. Oh, never mind. It's all gone. Per usual, HRRR just kicking up 6,000 instability all over the entire state. All over the whole U.S. I'm pretty sure that was almost the entire U.S. that was under 6,000 instability there for a second. That's crazy. Yep. Radar Omega there. Apparently your best radar program. But you can see the HRRR has a much larger favorable warm sector. You see a lot more of these lighter greens indicating closer towards 100, or rather closer towards 800 to 1,000 instability, as opposed to that 200 to 300 instability. So HRRR definitely is a little bit more aggressive in terms of instability, but it is still on the lower side of instability. It will be favorable for tornadoes if we could see instability very close to or above 500. We could definitely get a few tornadoes Thursday. But that's all going to come down to really what we are looking at in the afternoon hours, towards about like 1, 2 p.m. or so. We'll see what our warm sector looks like. For instance, show you again. This is your moisture here for the HRRR. See if that's a big difference with your NAM. Go out to 1 p.m. Gotta wait for it to load. Okay, moisture really isn't much of a difference, so that's good news. At least we have agreement on something between our model runs. But it's all going to come down to what we are seeing at 1 p.m. because if we are seeing a very weak warm sector where we just have a large area of, say, 250 joules per kilogram in this whole area, and no 500 or no 1000 joules per kilogram at 1 p.m., then we'll know, okay, this threat's not going to be as much as we originally thought it would be. And if we do see that 500 to 1000 in that general region I just circled, I'll go ahead and pull the HRRR out now. That was the NAM3K. Now we're looking at the HRRR. So if we do see, you know, say this whole area is at 250 with 1000 instability being over in this area, we'll know, okay, now we've got a heightened tornado risk. So we'll probably end up with a more notable tornado threat. It's all going to come down to instability. That's everything in this threat is going to come down to instability on how big of a severe threat we get. Regardless, we do know that our overall threat will be, you know, still generally low thanks to the amount of cloud cover. Lower level lapse rates, Caleb, are very low, as well as the messy storm mode. The amount of forcing we have is very significant, which will lead towards a linear mode. So regardless of if we say we wake up to like 2000 instability over Louisiana, we're still going to end up with a very linear mode that will mainly result in damaging winds. But if we don't get more than about 500 instability, we'll end up with something like this, where we just get a very messy line of rain showers, as opposed to what the HRRR was showing with a more organized line here. If I could go out more, it would show you, but it would be more of an organized line of damaging winds if we saw, say, 500 to 1000 instability. So basically, the more instability we have, the stronger this line is going to be. The stronger the line is, the more threat we have for tornadoes and damaging winds. But either way, we're not going to end up with like a tornado outbreak threat type level here. Just that linear mode mixed in with the amount of lower level, the low level of cape here, you know, 250 to 500 mixed in with the amount of cloud cover. It's just very messy. It is very, very messy. It will not be a, you know, what we sometimes call a high-end setup for severe weather. It's definitely nowhere near a high-end setup here. Matter of fact, it's almost the definition of a low-end severe weather setup. It's very close to that. The only reason why it isn't completely a low level severe weather setup here is because of your wind shear. We've got a lot of wind shear out in front of that cold front, and that's a favorable amount for tornadoes. You know, that entire warm sector is going to be covered in favorable wind shear for tornadoes, damaging winds, and small hail. But the instability is very low. So overall, we have a mid setup. It's worth about a slight risk. Worst case scenario, we could get an enhanced risk for damaging winds. I would not fully rule out an enhanced risk for damaging winds. Don't be surprised if we see an enhanced risk issued sometime tomorrow in generally this area here. Also, don't be surprised if we end up with a downgrade to a marginal risk. It could go either way. It could go either way. I could see it getting completely downgraded to a marginal, and I could see it getting an upgrade to an enhanced risk for wind. But I do not see this being a good tornado threat, period. Like, even if like I said, even if our instability overperformed to like 1,000, 1,500 joules, I'm not gonna see this being a tornado outbreak setup. I mean, if our instability somehow doesn't change on our model runs overnight, they'll stay slight. But I have a feeling we're either going to see an uptrend in instability or a downtrend. I feel like we're either going to see one or the other. But maybe it'll just stay slight. But typically, we see either a downtrend or an uptrend with instability the day of. A lot of the times, from what I can recall, of course, it is a different year, but 2024, almost every single time we'd end up having more instability than every model predicted. But who knows, maybe 2025 is the year of downtrends. We'll see. I would not put it past an enhanced risk tomorrow. I could see that happening. For damaging winds, again, not for tornadoes. Is there a model run that shows that potential scenario there? With a higher end damaging wind threat? Not really. It depends what the slight risk is for. I mean, if I'm very curious to see what their slight risk is fully for. It's probably for damaging winds. We'll see. I want to go check this. Right now, a slight risk is a good call, but I'm just saying, like, typically, day of, we're going to see a downtrend or an uptrend, one or the other. CSU went enhanced risk for winds, by the way, Ben. It went enhanced for wind. I just saw that. Do I think there could be any possible tornado outbreaks in the future? What Caleb said, I think it's pretty safe to say we could see a tornado outbreak within the next 1,000 years. I do think that's a pretty safe wording there. Maybe getting a little too ahead of myself, but I think we could see a tornado outbreak within the next 1,000 years. But being more realistic, I'm still keeping an eye on the 8th of February, right around that time frame. It could be any day in February, honestly. Some models showed the cold front pushing in as soon as like February 3rd, but I'm still watching generally from like the 3rd till the 9th of February for a severe weather threat somewhere in this region in here. Somewhere around there. Which right now you can see that that's what the GFS has for tornado ingredients, 267 hours out, which is still far. That is still far out. But so calling this a potential tornado outbreak when we are, 10 days away, that'd be so dumb. That would be very dumb of me to say. Let me just show you. There's all your uncertainty. Some of them don't even have much precipitation with the system, and some don't even have a snowstorm with it, so timing is definitely a big variability. But we're going to take it one severe threat at a time, which means we're going to keep an eye on tomorrow's severe weather threat, and then once that's over, we'll move on into Thursday, and then after Thursday, we'll keep an eye on probably like the, the 2nd of February? Where was it? There was a little bit of instability, or rather a little bit of supercell composite I saw pop up here. Yeah, 3rd of February, the GFS has a little bit of ingredients there in Louisiana. But it doesn't have a good trough. So we're mainly going to be keeping an eye on this large trough here going towards the beginning of February. That's what we'll keep an eye on. In the long term. Short term, we're definitely watching very late tomorrow into all day Thursday for a severe weather event. I'm very intrigued to see what 0ZHRRR has. That's going to be a key factor on what the SPC does for their first day one outlook tomorrow. Or first day two outlook tomorrow, rather. But like Ben and I think who was saying it, Caleb, were saying, they'll probably end up keeping it a slight risk. That's definitely a safe bet at the moment. But just once again, typically we see uptrends and downtrends day of the event. Let me go back over here again. Hello, Catman. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you in here. I'm ready for winter. What? Oh my goodness, am I that tired? I'm ready for winter. Nope, he definitely typed winter and winter. I thought maybe I was going insane for a second there. He definitely said winter and winter. Wow. Well, Ben, here you go. We're still in winter. Welcome to winter. Think you got the flu. Dang, Catman. Hopefully you feel better. I know a lot of people who are sick. I know at least 4 people who are sick. Well, now 5, because you say you might have the flu. It seems like it, Weather Tracker. It sure does. I meant spring. I am very, very ready for spring. I just want to get February done with. I don't even want to deal with February. It's going to be interesting to track because, like I said in the last live stream, I don't remember the month of February like ever throughout any year. It's just not a memorable month for me. It doesn't matter what happens in February, I won't remember it. I cannot remember any weather events in any February in history. I don't remember a single one. I'm trying to think back. I can't remember anything. So, we'll hopefully get through February quickly. Let's see. The more I look at this, the more I agree with Ben and Caleb on the SPC probably just keeping it slight. Unless we see like some major uptrend that would result in them putting an enhanced risk over like eastern Louisiana into western Mississippi. Or an enhanced risk if for the morning hours here in East Central Texas. That's what CSU has. CSU has a enhanced risk in like East Central Texas, but there's like no instability there. Like literally, is there even a joule? There are 50 joules. Rat model goes definitely more aggressive. RAP is definitely more aggressive with the warm sector there in terms of instability. But again, you can see all the wind shear. Let me, I'm going to flip between a lot of products here. Give me a moment. Let's pull a nitpick sounding here. What is that, like east of Rayville, east of Monroe, Louisiana? See what that says. Marginal severe. Very, very poor lower level lapse rates. Great wind shear. Poor instability. Capping wouldn't really matter too much in this case because it's a linear mode. This is primarily damaging winds with maybe, worst case scenario, a spin-up tornado. Can't be fully ruled out. Definitely doesn't scream tornadoes. This sounding doesn't scream tornadoes. The thermodynamics are just garbage. Hodograph, A+. I'll give it an A+, maybe even an S tier hodograph there. But the thermodynamics here are just F. Like, we could really just flunk out the thermodynamics here. These are like Caleb's grades. They're terrible. I had to do it. The thermodynamics are Caleb's grades, man. I couldn't resist the temptation. It was too strong. Let's see here. Do you think we could see a strong tornado Wednesday? Really, Weather Tracker? Come on. Really? Weather Tracker? Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's be realistic. It would take a 2024 miracle to pull a strong tornado out of this setup. I mean, it would be like a complete shocker. If it was 2024, I'd say I wouldn't fully rule it out overnight tomorrow night, but it's 2025, so I don't even think it's a possibility. I don't even know where it would happen either. Like where there's no possible spot for it because here in Louisiana and Mississippi, you're fully linear with minimal instability. And then here in Texas tomorrow night, you're fully in a clustery, messy, small hail, damaging wind, barely even a tornado threat. The only place I would see a possible heightened tornado threat, and that does not include a strong tornado threat, would be where the cold front meets whatever instability is left over out here in northeastern Louisiana into west central Mississippi. But that's going to depend completely on how much instability we have there Friday night. Or Saturday night, Friday morning. What the heck? Thursday night, Friday morning. There we go. Gotta get my days right. Thursday night into Friday morning. That would be another area of interest. It depends, because if we get a lot of instability, this area right here would definitely be the region to watch for a heightened tornado threat. If we don't end up with a lot of instability, the area I would watch the most is right where that warm sector can get the most favorable in the day hours, meet up with the cold front towards like the 3-4 p.m. time frame. So if we get more instability, I would be watching northeastern Louisiana into west central Mississippi. Less instability, I'd be watching closer towards like the Shreveport, Louisiana area. But either way, strong tornado threat is near zero. Like very close to zero. The SPC did mention a heightened tornado threat, I believe, after 6 p.m. Central, I think. I have to go read their new discussion. It was on their new discussion here. Strong storms are expected to persist across portions of eastern Texas. By the late afternoon and early evening hours, a lower level jet will increase convection across portions of Louisiana. This may result in a brief increase in severe weather potential across portions of Louisiana and adjacent Mississippi. When a period of favorable wind shear will overlap with the better instability and higher quality dew points. Convection will likely remain elevated, but regardless, strong to severe wind gusts are possible, in addition to a few instances of hail. Poor lower level lapse rates, limited surface instability, and a temper tornado risk. The lower level jet may increase towards the 0Z time frame, and if that does happen, forecast guidance suggests a tornado or two may be possible. So basically, they are talking about a very low-end tornado threat. Like, not even a 5%. Personally, I think they are going to end up doing a 5% tour, though. I think they will end up doing a 5% tornado risk on this day. Exactly where they put it, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tricky forecast. 0Z guidance is definitely going to help a bunch with where they may end up placing that 5% tour. But overall, my personal thoughts on this event, I really do see it, honestly, staying slight risk. I fully agree with Caleb and Ben now, after going through all the model runs. I don't see really a way that this goes enhanced for even wind. It would take a big overperformance and instability for them to pull an enhanced risk trigger for wind. And we'll just see. Honestly, Ben, you're right. As long as it's from people I know, for instance, Haley, Ben, Legacy, Indiana, Pete, you guys are all regulars on the channel, so I just let it flow. I just let it flow and let it go, and I don't even really talk about it, because then I go so off topic. Like, you guys are on about chicken noodle soup, Let's see what else we got in here. Chicken noodle soup seems to be the talk of the town in the chat right now. Okay, fine, Caleb, you're not a regular. Yeah, I just let it go. I just let the chat go. No, not 2016 Frozen. Get out of here. Caleb's not a regular. He doesn't classify as a regular anymore. I mean, you guys are here like almost every single live stream. You're regulars and you're who chats the most. Look at that. Nam3K gives Catman a chance for some tornado ingredients. Let's see how good of a environment Catman's gonna get. Now, this is Thursday night. A Triple R doesn't even have anything there. We'll wait for this. Jeez. Look at that. Talk about a sharp dry air slot there in your lower mid levels, right in between lower and mid levels. And then that's a capping and a half. Look at that right there towards what? That's probably like your 950 millibar, 900 millibar. You've got a really good capping there. Great dew points though. 48 dew points, perfect. Perfect dew points right there. You know what's crazy? Catman, you're going to have better lapse rates in eastern Oklahoma than probably the whole state of Louisiana. Like, literally, you're probably going to get some of the best lapse rates that this trough is going to offer. I don't know. I can't see it on here, can I? Nope. What about on this product? Nah. I can't find like a product that has lapse rates. Yeah, this isn't gonna do anything though. It's a very messy setup. All you're gonna have is a lot of rain. You're just gonna have a lot of rain with this. It's not gonna be anything severe. But yeah, that's your correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's your EML right there. Like I said, I've got to get back into the tornado side of things. I've been stuck in Winterland. We've gone through like 3 major snowstorms this season. And it was all in the span of like 2.5 weeks. Because we had the blizzard in Kansas. We had the snowstorm in oh shoot, where was it? I forgot. But we had another snowstorm. Then we had the snowstorm in the deep south. I forgot one. We had 3 of them. There was another one, Ben, because I got hit by 2 snowstorms in the span of 7 days. And I'm trying to think of what it was. Because I got hit by the one that was the blizzard in Kansas and Nebraska. Then, of course, we had the snowstorm in the southern United States. I can't think of it. I don't know why I cannot remember the snowstorm that hit me. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, so just to take a look at our trough ejection again, I want to go ahead and show you all the trough, since we haven't really done too much analysis on that. So here's our trough ejection Thursday morning. You could see we are fully positively tilted here. A complete positive tilt trough ejection, clear as day, positively tilted to the southwest. The only reason why we're actually seeing severe weather out here is thanks to these short waves. These short waves are going to cause significant defluence aloft, as you can see very clearly in this area here. And that will allow for thunderstorms to initiate in this entire region here very late tomorrow night into Thursday morning. And as we go into Thursday afternoon here, you'll see those short waves continue in this region, continuing that convection. Now, as we do go towards about like 11 a.m., noon, Thursday, there should be a brief weakening period between where our instability from Thursday morning runs out and where these storms don't have instability Thursday afternoon. So you'll see that is portrayed here by the NAM model right around about, this says about 2 p.m. That weakening happens over northwestern Louisiana. Then it hits the greater instability in central Louisiana, west central Mississippi, and the line strengthens again in Mississippi and Louisiana. So there should be a very quick period where this system and the overall line weakens and then strengthens again. But overall, this is definitely it is definitely a low end setup trough ejection. You're not going to be able to get much significant severe weather out of this unless you are extremely unfortunate. I mean, this is a fully positively tilted trough ejection. The one thing I'm really shocked at is how much jet stream this has on the east side. This actually does properly impress me how much of a jet stream and a strong lower level jet this trough ejection is able to get on its right quadrant. And I really think the only reason why it even has that jet stream is simply because of short waves. Like, those short waves are literally going to carry the entire trough ejection. It would probably barely even be a trough if it didn't have short waves in it. Because you can see here, even over the southwestern Rockies where it is right now, it's not even close to as strong on the right quadrant as what it will be once it gets into Louisiana very early Friday morning. Not even close. For instance, the lower level jet here over the Rockies, it's not going to have the southern Rockies, Four Corners area. It's not going to have any jet stream. Then as it traverses the Rockies, goes into your southeastern plains and Dixie Alley here, you're going to get like a 60 to almost 70 knot jet stream. That's one thing that I'm definitely impressed with this system is how much jet stream strength it has for a positive tilt. In terms of a severe weather trough ejection as well, because you can see here, this is a elongated positively tilted trough, so that doesn't impress me. We see that frequently, right? That's common. We see that all the time. But one where we actually get like a bowling ball cut off low trough like this, and it actually has a good jet stream with it. Pretty surprised by that, but thankfully it doesn't bring up a lot of instability, which will result in not much of a severe weather threat. See, now this is normally what a positive tilted trough looks like right here. Positive tilted trough with just a messy jet stream like that. There you go. That's your perfect positive tilt trough. No severe weather at all. So I am definitely a bit more impressed with just the strength of that positive trough. Maybe I just simply don't have good memory, but I mean, that has to be up there with one of the better positive troughs we've seen. That is how you get a good snowstorm, too. That is how you get a really good snowstorm. Like, if we just had some colder air into the US, my goodness. This would be a major snowstorm for this whole area if we had some colder air. But we don't. It's right there too. Look at that. There's your freezing point. That 540 line in the purple. That's your freezing point. Shreveport could still see damaging winds, small hail, and a brief spin-up tornado, but I don't know. I'd still be weather aware in Shreveport. I would still be weather aware because I wouldn't be fully expecting it to weaken over Shreveport like the NAM 3K has. I'm really intrigued to see what the HRRR has tonight, but that won't be in for another 2 hours. Saw someone say something about Texas. Where is it? Texas. Brian. The tornado threat will be definitely lower for Texas, especially tomorrow. We do have a 2% tornado risk out towards Austin, so we can't fully rule out a brief tornado there. And then we will most likely have a low-end tornado threat, probably over much of this marginal risk as well. We'll have a low-end tornado threat. So that goes from Dallas all the way down to where you can see towards like Longview, Shreveport, and then maybe all the way back south towards like College Station. I don't know exactly how large that 2% will be. I'm not the SPC, so I don't know how large they're going to put that marginal risk. But overall, Texas's tornado threat would be very low. Not technically very low. It's considered a low tornado threat. Very low. A very low tornado threat is considered less than 2%. That's what a very low tornado threat means by definition. Less than 2%. Okay, there we go. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. It's greatly appreciated. We'll be live again tomorrow. There's a very low chance it will be coverage. Most likely we'll just do another 1 hour briefing, maybe a 2 hour briefing, depending on if storms fire early or not. We might turn that into a little bit of coverage. And then Thursday's messy too, but we'll probably do a bit more coverage Thursday in the evening hours. Thursday's probably going to be our only day we actually cover. Tomorrow will be a briefing. Thursday will probably be some coverage. I would cover tomorrow, but it's just going to be a messy overall threat, and it's also going to be pretty late. So, just basing it off of like the NAM model, which is the worst thing I could do. It probably will just, I don't even know if I could do that. I don't want to do a late stream Friday either. Unless it's going to be a notable threat for severe weather. I don't really want to do that. So we'll just plan for our normal time. We'll be live tomorrow from like 6 p.m. Eastern all the way till either 7 or 8. And then for Friday, we'll probably do about the same as well. But I don't know. Because it looks like Thursday's going to be very meh day. So messy. So it's a very messy day. I could definitely see us getting a couple spin-up tornadoes on Thursday in a good chunk of Louisiana, and I could also see a scenario where we don't even end up with a single rotating storm Thursday, and it's more of just a line. So, I'm really just wanting to see that 0Z data, because then I'll be able to forecast it a little bit better. Using 18Z data 2 days before the primary threat is not fun. And then after this system gets out of here, we're going to have a high pressure ridge set up over the southeastern U.S. That will allow for probably a good solid 2 days. I know, such a long time. Good solid 2, maybe pushing 3 days without precipitation over much of the southeastern United States. before we see another trough pull in. And that will potentially bring, just some rain. I don't think it will be severe weather as we go into February 3rd and February 4th in portions of the southern and southeastern United States. And then that will continue to build up, and February, sometime between like the 3rd or so, all the way to like the 9th or so of February, we'll see a big storm enter the U.S. Because of our large trough ejection that will build out in the Rockies. There's a lot of uncertainty on exactly what will happen with that trough. Let's see what the Euro shows here. How about I switch scenes so you can actually see what the Euro shows? There you go. So the Euro also shows a big ice storm for portions of the Midwestern and Great Lakes areas in the U.S. Does it show anything else? Oh, look at that. Some snow, almost some snow for me on February 10th. So I do think we'll get... This is going to be the storm we have to watch right here towards like February 6th. Right around that time frame. And I will show you a better thing here, which is the GFS ensembles. Let's go over here, zoom this out. Here is our severe weather signal, and it is definitely a big signal, but it's not a significant severe weather signal because none of it really gets over 1. Only this gets over 1, so it's really not a significant severe weather signal here, so it's also just very spread out. That's another thing. For a significant severe weather signal here, what I look for is I look for this black line right here. That needs to be about halfway between 0 and 1, and it also has to have good agreement. Right now, we've got agreement on a severe weather threat on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, not the 10th. So, it's everywhere. There's no set day here. I do see that black line goes up a little bit on the 6th and the 7th of February, so that, that kind of makes me want to pay attention to it. It gives me a hint towards a possible severe weather day. But everything else here is just everywhere. This is everywhere. This is everywhere. This is all everywhere. This is our severe weather threat for Thursday, and you can see how low that black line still is. Which, again, we're not going to see anything significant. Maybe we could see a gust of 70 miles per hour sometime between tomorrow night and Friday morning, but we're not looking at a significant tornado threat. This is your supercell composite, your daily sum of supercell composite in the continental United States, and it's just not going to be that high on the 29th. So I'm primarily going to be watching this right in here, which will be from about the 5th or so of February till the 8th or so of February. And even that, like I said, this is not a significant signal for severe weather. It is a signal for some severe weather potential, but we'll see. No, I mean through Friday morning. Tomorrow night, which is Wednesday night, through all day Thursday into Friday morning. Yeah. But, yep, that's going to be about it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Hopefully you did enjoy the stream. I know I could go all over the place every now and then. I do that very frequently. I just start talking about absolutely everything on our model runs and our tornado threats, so... We'll be live tomorrow, and like I said, at probably 6 p.m. Eastern, and then probably the same time frame for Thursday as well. But I will not, no, I'm not doing no 36-hour live stream. I don't know, Caleb. Figure that out yourself. You ain't gonna use that ever again in life. Probably. I mean, unless you're going into, like, shoot, where are you even going to use that at? I don't even know what field you're going to use that at. I keep turning it down, Pez. I actually do. Here, let me Let me go listen to myself. Stream interruption. Let me go here. Okay. I'm going to go into settings and fix that. Watch this. I know exactly what it is. Too low? Better? I bet that's better. That should be a lot better. Should. Let's go over. Yep, there you go. That's a lot better. Thank you for letting me know that, Pez. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. Let me go ahead and close that out. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll be live again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern for another weather update. Hopefully we should know a lot more about our severe weather threat on Thursday tomorrow. So it will be more of a briefing, less of a severe weather coverage live stream. And that is going to be it for this live stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Haley, I'll have a forecast on that at the end of next month. There's still a few things I'm waiting for to figure out exactly what my forecast will be for the upcoming tornado season, but we're starting to get a good idea, a lot better idea of what our tornado season will look like compared to last month. December, we knew minimal things about our tornado season in December, and now that we're at the end of January, there is a bit of better information out there. So that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Once again, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for another live weather update. And like I said, that will be a briefing. And Thursday is the only day where we may have actual coverage and cover for, a couple hours. But yeah, that is going to be it. Thank you, Moss, for mod and chat. Have a great rest of y'all's Tuesday, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's live stream again at 6 p.m. Eastern. Stay safe, watch the severe weather and the snowfall. Goodbye. stay safe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream. Thanks once again, mods, for on chat, and everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Good.